Imagine you're walking down the street, hungry and craving something tasty. You stop by the nearest Chinese restaurant, and there it is on the menu, General Tso's chicken. It's crispy, sweet, spicy, and saucy. The perfect comfort food. But have you ever stopped to wonder, where did this dish come from? Well, you might be surprised to learn that General Tso's chicken, the dish that's almost a staple in every Chinese restaurant across America, isn't really a traditional Chinese dish at all. In fact, it was created far from China, in Taiwan, and not by a general either. So, let's find out the fascinating story behind this famous dish and how it became a beloved part of American Chinese cuisine. The story of General Tso's chicken begins with a man named Chang-Kuei. Peng was born in Hunan Province, China in 1919. Hunanese cuisine, which Peng was a part of, is known for its bold and strong flavors. Spicy, salty, and sour. The food is made with fresh ingredients and offers vibrant tastes. But Peng's journey was not just about food. It was about surviving through a difficult and challenging time in history. In the mid-1900s, China was going through a very tough civil war between two groups, the nationalists and the communists. In 1949, the nationalists lost the war and had to escape from mainland China. They fled to Taiwan, a small island off the coast. Peng, who had been working as a chef, was one of those who fled. Like many others, he went to Taiwan, where life was uncertain, but new chances and opportunities started to appear. Taiwan became a place where Peng could start fresh and continue his work as a chef. Though the world around him was changing quickly, Peng found a way to keep doing what he loved, cooking. This was just the beginning of Peng's incredible story, which would eventually lead to the creation of the dish we now know as General Tso's chicken. His journey wasn't just about cooking delicious food, it was about adapting and thriving in a world that had been turned upside down by war. The creation of the dish was the 1950s, and tensions were high between China and Taiwan. The US had stepped in to protect Taiwan after the Korean War, which led to the first Taiwan Strait crisis in 1954. It was a time of political instability, and during this period, Peng was invited to cook for high-profile officials, including US military leaders. One such leader was Admiral Arthur W. Radford, who visited Taiwan in 1955. Peng, by then, was the official chef for the Taiwanese government, and he wanted to impress the admiral with something special. This is when General Tso's chicken was born. It wasn't named after the general himself, but after the famous General Tso Tsung Tang, also known as Zuo Zongtang, a historical figure from the Qing dynasty. General Tso was known for his military victories, especially during the Taiping Rebellion, a devastating war that killed millions. But the general had nothing to do with the dish. It was just a way for Peng to honor a famous figure from his hometown of Hunan. When Peng cooked this dish for the admiral, it wasn't the sweet, syrupy creation we know today. It was closer to traditional Hunan flavors, spicy, salty, and a little sour. But it was just the beginning of its journey, a twist of fate. In the early 1970s, Peng moved to the United States, opening a restaurant in New York. The American public at the time wasn't familiar with the complex flavors of Hunan cuisine. Peng realized that to survive in this new environment, he needed to adapt, and so he did. He made the dish sweeter to cater to the American palate and changed the ingredients a bit to fit what was available. This is when General Tso's chicken began to take its modern form. But here's where it gets interesting. The story of General Tso's chicken isn't just about the dish. It's also about the Chinese diaspora and how immigrants had to adjust their culture to thrive in a new land. While Peng was creating this new version of Hunan food, Chinese restaurants across America were becoming more popular. Many chefs were experimenting with Chinese-inspired dishes, and they began adapting General Tso's chicken as well. One group of chefs, who had also fled Taiwan and settled in New York, decided to put their own spin on the dish. They loved the idea of General Tso's chicken, but they felt it needed something more. They adjusted the recipe, making it even sweeter and more appealing to the American taste buds. Eventually, they tried to change the name to General Qing's chicken, but General Tso's name stuck. And so, the dish became even more popular. The chicken that conquered America, General Tso's chicken, quickly became one of the most popular dishes in America. It was found on the menu in nearly every Chinese restaurant, from small family-owned buffets to fancy upscale places. The dish became a staple of American Chinese food. But here's the surprising part. People in China, especially in Hunan province, had never even heard of it. The dish wasn't known in its so-called home province until the 1990s. Some chefs in Hunan started to recognize General Tso's chicken as part of their culinary history, even though it had never been served in Hunan itself. In 2003, food critic Fuchsia Dunlop visited Hunan and searched for General Tso's chicken, but she couldn't find it on a single menu. This was strange because outside of China, the dish had become the face of Hunanese food. It was served in Chinese restaurants all around the world, especially in the United States. However, it was completely unknown in the region where it was supposed to come from. This led Fuchsia to ask an important question. How could a dish become a symbol of a cuisine if it wasn't even recognized in the place it was supposedly from? This curious situation made people wonder how food traditions spread and change, especially when dishes are created outside their original cultures. General Tso's chicken may not have originated in Hunan, but its popularity in the US made it a global sensation, even without any real connection to its supposed homeland. A dish of the diaspora, General Tso's chicken wasn't just a culinary invention. It was a story of survival, adaptation, and resilience. It was a dish born from the chaos of civil war, created by an immigrant who found a new home in Taiwan, then brought to America and reshaped to meet the tastes of a foreign land. It represents the journey of many Chinese immigrants who came to America, bringing their food and culture with them, and slowly transforming it to fit into a new society. But why is it so beloved? Perhaps it's because of the perfect balance of flavors, the crunch of the chicken, the sweetness of the sauce, and the heat of the chili peppers. Or maybe it's because, despite its complicated origin, it has become a part of the American experience, a symbol of how food can transcend borders and bring people together. So, the next time you order General Tso's chicken, remember that you're not just enjoying a meal, you're tasting a story of exile, change, and the power of food to connect cultures. General Tso's chicken is much more than just a Chinese dish. It's a symbol of the resilience of the human spirit and the ability to reinvent oneself in the face of adversity. From Taiwan to New York, it conquered the world, and its journey is far from over. Isn't it amazing how a dish like General Tso's chicken, born from such a complex history, can become a simple, beloved part of our everyday lives? What do you think? Should we rethink the origins of the food we love? As we've seen, General Tso's chicken isn't just a dish. It's a fascinating story of culture, history, and adaptation. If you enjoyed learning about its origins, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more amazing stories. See you in the next video.